The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to use the Trendline tool in Google Sheets to find a mathematical model for data. What we have here is position and time data for a tennis ball that was thrown through the air. This data was generated using the JS Track app, which is a motion tracking app that can be used to track the motion of objects in a video. If you'd like to see how I used JS Track to generate this data, there's a link in the description to a video tutorial. Just so that we can be very careful of our analysis, I really want to look at the horizontal motion and the vertical motion separately and determine what I can conclude about those. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my time data and my position data. This is the X direction, and I'd like to make a scatter plot. So I'll go here to Insert Chart button and click it. It may try to make a line chart. I really want to see it as a scatter plot. So I'm going to scroll down to scatter plot, and there I have my plot. So first thing that jumps out at me is that the horizontal position versus time graph is linear. So I'll leave it to you to decide what you can conclude from that. But if I want to get the trend line, I'm going to go to the Customize option, go to the Series tab, and scroll to Trend Line. It puts a linear trend line on there by default, which is what I want. I want to see the equation of that line so I can make a mathematical model, and so I choose Use Equation. That's listed here. It says 2.53 times x plus 0.0113. Keep in mind what that really means is that x position equals, or y-axis variable equals this. It's in the form of mx plus b, where m is a slope. So 2.53 represents the slope of this linear relationship. The intercept here is essentially 0. So in my analysis, I would probably just call that 0, and I can see kind of by an eyeball test that the trend line does in fact start at 0. So there's my x position versus time graph. Next up, I want to analyze the y position, so the vertical position versus time graph. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and drag that graph down. And for a moment, I'm going to go ahead and hide this column. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the time column and the y position column. And again, go to the Insert Chart button. Now, it has plotted y position versus time. That's a nice little trick. You can hide the X position data if you don't want it to graph. If you highlight it all at once, it's going to try to graph all of the data in one graph, which can get a little bit messy. So notice here, I have a curve. It looks to me like it's a parabolic shape. So what I'm thinking is I still want to find a trend line here, but the linear trend line is not going to be a good option. So again, let's go to the Customize tab, go to Series. Even though it's a curve, we still call it a trend line. Notice it's going to try to put a linear trend line on there. I want a parabolic relationship here. In other words, a second order polynomial, a squared sort of relationship. That is an option. Be careful, you don't want exponential, that's something different. I want a polynomial of degree 2 if I think it's parabolic. And notice that the curve fit is quite nice. It's hitting my data points quite well. And again, I don't want just to see that curve. I'd like to know the equation of the curve. So I go to Label, Use Equation. Now, one of the things I don't like about Google Sheets is the way that it shows second order polynomials. In math class, you probably look at these equations as y equals ax plus bx plus c, and it inverts the order. So this term here is really the ax squared term. Notice there's a coefficient. It happens to be negative. Again, I'll let you think about what that might mean. There's a middle term here, bx, and again, think of this whole equation here as being inverted. And then the plus c is actually listed first, which is a little bit strange. So that is 0.512. I'll give you a hint. That is basically telling you where the graph begins. It's like the y-intercept value. The first data point was right at about 0.5 meters. Remember, it was about 0.5 meters above the table. I'll leave it to you to think about what this middle term and end term means. I'll give you a hint. think about the position versus time equation for objects moving with uniform acceleration. So you may remember that as position equals 1/2 at squared plus v0 times t plus x0, it's often written. Here, because I'm looking at the y direction, I'm going to put y0. So keep in mind what each of those terms means. The a is the acceleration of the object, so the coefficient attached to t squared should be half the acceleration of the object. The coefficient attached to the t coefficient is the starting velocity, the initial velocity. And then the term that is not attached to a t value, it's just an intercept, would be your initial position. We already talked about that as being the starting height of the tennis ball when it was thrown. It was about 0.5 meters above the table. So I'll leave it to you to ponder the meaning of this coefficient and this coefficient, but my tip would be that it is tied to this equation. This is your squared term coefficient. This is your t term coefficient. And again, this term is the one that we usually write last as the initial position term. Hopefully this helps you see how to use JSTrack along with Google Sheets and the Trendline tool to make sense of your data.